and found the spot at the old Naval Air Station in Alameda, and we're in an old airplane hangar, so it's huge inside. We got the brewery in there and a lot of space, and then there's nothing between us and San Francisco, so we have a huge outdoor space, views of the city and the bridges from the tasting room, and it's a great spot. And Roger he makes phenomenal beer, so that combined with, it's family-owned, independent, small company, and just a great venue. And so, we're just doing our thing and hoping people dig the beer.
Yeah, and usually you guys will have a food truck or two out there, and Stellaris is out there. You got go out there and play a little cornhole if you want to while you're drinking your beers. You got the benches out there to sit out and look across the bay into the city. And
you can bring your kids and your dogs and the whole thing. So
a lot of people do.
It's Alameda's doing Spirits Alley right now. There's St. George next door, and Rockwell Winery down the street. So you can spend the day out there. Recommend maybe an Uber, but
absolutely.
But it's a great place.
So what have you seen in the growth of craft beer? Because there's just so much good beer. Just in the Bay Area now. I'm going to miss a few here, but some of my favorites are, you guys, Fieldwork over in Berkeley, obviously Russian River. You have Drake's, you have Cellar Maker here in the city, which is fantastic. You got 21st Amendment, you got Bear Republic, you got Lagunitas. You got even a little one like Cleefus Quilly over there in San Leandro. There's so much good beer now. What do you make of this explosion over the last decade or so of just it's not just craft beer anymore, because that's been around a while. Everyone's starting to get it right now. There's so much really good beer out there.
Well, you hit it on the head. Anyone can open a brewery, but the key is getting it right, and more people are doing that. Beer industries, it's kind of a family-style industry. It's not super competitive. We're not out there trying to crush each other.
Yeah.
The small breweries that open in the Bay Area. So it's great. I think over the last 4 years, on average, 2 breweries have opened per week in California, which that's a little insane. I don't know that they're all making great beer. I hope they are, but and then as far as the industry goes, some of the breweries are getting bought up by some of the big huge companies, and
I've seen that,
and that happens too. But in the Bay Area, there's just the ones you named. Just phenomenal beer coming out of the Bay.
I forgot about a couple of them. We got our buddy Kevin Euclid, who has Loma down in the South Bay. Strikes down there. Let me ask you this, because it's not I'm just wondering, because Lagunitas now, you see it everywhere, right? You get bought up, you get distribution, and you're nationwide. How do craft brewers look at that? Is that like an indie label that goes big time and is a sellout, or is that like a boon to everybody? Does the high tide raise all ships? How do local independent craft brewers look at other craft brewers that have just kind of exploded, been bought up, and maybe sold? I think Ballast Point is another one that is really good beer. But how do the independent guys look at that?
Well, those are great companies. Obviously, Lagunitas, and Sierra Nevada started the whole, and Anchor, started the whole California craft beer scene. It's, I don't know, everyone probably looks at it a little differently. It's always a little disappointing when you see someone sell to a big, huge global conglomerate. But then again, it's I guess it's hard to blame people when they're throwing around $1 billion.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. At this point, I think craft beer has really risen up, and it's really on the forefront.
Yeah.
I don't know that someone selling out like that necessarily raises everybody up, but I don't think anyone has a bunch of ill will towards it, but you definitely know who's independent and who's not, I would say. And coming from where we are, we like to support the independent guys.
Of course. Yeah, I was just coming, and I didn't really know. That's why I asked the question, because I'm thinking the more people get a chance to try it around the country, the more they may go to their local brewery and say, hey, this is pretty good stuff. I want to give this a shot. And I think more and more people are doing that, which I think is it's just a really cool thing. And the fact that you guys are over in Alameda is super cool. We just got so many good breweries. I want you to, before we get to the Ales for ALS, just talk about some of the beers you have over there. I had one, actually. I don't know if you still have it, because you rotate your beers. They had one called Stud Muffin. And I told Roger, I go, dude, don't be naming beers after me. Are you kidding me? You got to get my permission to do that.
I think he named it after himself.
You have to email me. Let me know. But I think you had one. Hop Soup was one of my favorites, too. Yeah. Talk about some of the beers you guys got over there.
Well, I brought some today for you guys if you're ready.
Smith,
Tommy's never ready till about 5.
You know what, though? I do have to apologize, Tom. I did not bring the beer bong and the Oli.
Oh, wow. That's not good. Good thing Jen's husband Mike isn't here. He loves his Old E. Because usually when you drink Old E, right, you got to drink one, you got to pour it out for your homies. You gotta,
absolutely.
You gotta do that
I heard the show. I was listening to the
Bring
show.
a paper bag too for me.
No, I didn't bring any of that, but I heard the show when you were talking about that, and John, I heard about you pouring the booze in the beer bong. Just brutal, man.
That was a bad thing. That was in my youth. I would never do that now.
I did that once too.
Yeah,
Well, you know what?
I didn't like the guy.
Look, the beer's so good now, you wouldn't pour it down a damn bong.
No.
You want to taste it. That's the difference between then
That's
and now.
true.
Then, when you're younger, you're just like, hey, let me get a buzz on, we're good to go.
What's on sale? Ham's done.
I've told people this, and I don't know if you agree with me, Ryan. If all the beer that I drink now was like 2% alcohol, I'd be totally fine with that. Because I don't drink it anymore for that reason. The flavor's so good, I love it. It's just eventually you got to stop drinking it because it's like a lot of the beers that I like, the IPAs are, anywhere between 7 and 9. And you sit down for a Saturday of college football, you get around that 4:30 SEC tilt, you start getting a little like loopy. Is that Tennessee or Auburn?
Yeah,
you should know. One's like bright orange.
As long as you had your bets in early.
No, you don't want to bet when you're like 7 beers deep into 7.5.
Right.
Yeah, you lose the early ones.
I'm going to take Florida Atlantic and time to Rice and see how that goes. Dummy, they're playing each other. You can't do that.
Well, I did bring one of our beers today. It's one of the only beers that we make year round. It's Faction Pale Ale, and we call it a generously hopped pale ale. Mm-hmm. Tons of hops, dry hopped, and it's only 5.4%, but it kind of has an IPA characteristic to it. So there you go. There's your Saturday and Sunday beer.
Actually, it's going to be my Thursday beer.
Exactly.
My Thursday in about an hour beer is what it's going to be.
And I brought some Faction Pilsner today, and I brought the Ales for ALS IPA.
Oh, cool.
Tell us about that one, because all the brewers that are coming are making a beer.
Right.
It's a certain strain of hops that everyone's using, right?
Well, so in 2013, Corey Reich, a young man living with ALS, and his family and some others had this cool idea to pair up with a couple of hop farms up in Washington and do this thing. And the hop farms donate all the hops to now it's over 100 breweries in the country, and breweries all making Ales for ALS beer, and a large portion of the proceeds from the sales of all those beers go to Ales for ALS, which they in turn donate to ALS Therapy and Development Institute. And so 100% of it goes there, and they've donated over almost $1.3 million.
Wow.
It's only been around since 2013. And so, we made an IPA this year. In fact, they contacted us in 2013 before we were even open, contacted Roger. And so batch number 1, the first beer we ever put out of Faction was Ales for ALS IPA.
Oh, cool.
Batch number 1. So we've been around with them for a long time, and now this is the 4th year we're doing the Ales for ALS Festival over there at Faction. So, I brought the Ales for ALS IPA and the Summer IPA for you.
Yeah, the cool thing, for those that have never been before, and what you'll get, like let's say Russian River, they'll bring Pliny, because everybody loves Pliny, and then they'll bring their Ales for ALS. So every brewery will have a beer like they want to have you try, and they'll have their Ales for ALS. And am I correct in saying so? It's one hop. You said the hop farm delivers all the, or is it not?
It's not one hop, actually. It's a hop blend that the farms put together. It's
and everyone
Loftus
uses
Farms
that one?
and Loftus Farms and Hop Union, and everyone uses the exact same blend of hops. So they can make whatever kind of beer they want with it, but with the hops that they send out, it's usually like an IPA or a pale or some sort of ale or not. It's those type of hops.
Yeah.
It's got Citra hops this year, and then about 5 other experimental hops that they're making. So everyone's using the exact same hop blend, and then they can make whatever beer they want with it. And that,
I love
like you said,
Citra hops.
Yeah,
I love Citra hops. And like 5 years ago, maybe I don't even know. Maybe I'm getting my years wrong, but Citra hops wasn't even a big deal.
Well,
and all of a sudden, it's like, dude, where's my Citra hops? Like, I was like, where's this been? They're like, well, it's kind of been there, just no one was using it.
It's hard to even keep up. I mean, we make beers. Roger makes beers now, and we just list them experimental hop number, whatever, because they don't even have names yet. I mean, the hop farms are just going crazy with all the different hops they make. It's great.
Give us an idea of how. I'm just curious how they do that. How do they make experimental hops?
It's breeding. I mean,
so hops having sex?
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess. Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know?
PG-13 or kids, cover your eyes. The hops are going at it.
Yeah. So I mean, and then they trademark their hops now. It's a commodity. So they're coming out with tons of great hops. And then we source hops from Washington, from South Africa, from New Zealand, Australia, all over the place. So
That is really cool, man. It is coming up at Faction July 22nd, and it is Saturday from 1 to 5. ALS for ALS 4th Annual. So, very cool. All right.
I will be there.
We'll report to the people how it is.
All right. I
I
look
would
forward to
definitely
seeing
show
you
up,
guys
man.
there.
I can't see you there, Ryan.
Probably won't
Yeah.
get to
Thanks
it.
for stopping
All right.
by, man.
Thank you very much,
That's
guys.
awesome.
Good to see you, man.
Okay.
All right, there's Ryan from Faction again. It is coming up
Have a
on
bottle opener?
Saturday. It's coming up on Saturday from 1 to 5. Check it out. Ales for ALS. We will give you a report on the beers sometime after 7 o'clock. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. All right, and we'll reset Pablo and all the big stories. The juice is loose as well. We'll do it all next before Dan Wetzel joins us at the bottom.